Well, today we're with my friends. We're in Hiberia, which is a beautiful restaurant on Hibernia Street, and it's pig killing week. They killed pigs this week, and they've got something like the pig killing plate, which has got all the fresh products of the killing of the pig. But also they have something called prdelačka, which is a pig killing soup. And I've just been informed that prdel is the Czech word for arse. So this is in fact arse soup. It's called arse soup no doubt because it looks very dark. Because it would do, because it's made from the pig's blood. But I have to try this arse soup today. Because it's going to be fun. Everything in the Czech Republic's fun, but arse soup sounds more fun than most. And I'll take the pig killing plate as well, the pig's killing platter. So if you're a vegetarian, you might want to turn off now.
Ale ty vdolky, kdybychom si dali jedny vdolky dohromady jako zákusek, to bychom mohli, že? This good see this will take one together because it is something after.
Okay, well I'm gonna have that one.
Polívka and prdelačka.
Já si dám prdelačku, prosím, a zabíjačkový talíř. A pití vodu,
A já si dám taky polívku a dám si tu jaterničku. A pak si dáme ještě jedny vdolky se švestkovými pomidly, jako dohromady, že to budeme mít.
A já bych si dal prdelačku a tu jaterničku. A dal bych si ten master polotmavý.
This is arse soup, or prdelačka has just arrived, and I have to film myself trying it. Sorry, we have to do it again because it wasn't filmed.
So they will eat it
Did you press it again? Did you press it?
No!
Okay, it's red, yeah?
Yeah, it's red and it's counting seconds.
Okay, it doesn't matter. The faults make it all more lifelike. So I'm trying to
So tell something about this place. This is a place where you go all the time.
Yeah, it's our canteen.
Called Hiberia.
It's all blood.
May I shoot your colleagues, David?
It's up to them, I suppose, really.
This is Eva. Say hello, Eva. This is Martin. Hello. This is Lucia. Hello. And this is Václav. And here we are back again.
Many thanks. There we are. Prdelačka. So this is the pig's plate with 6 different products of new pig killing on it. So there we are, pig's killing plate. These are pig donuts. These are pig donuts. They're nothing to do with pig killing, but it's just you can pig out on them. So I'm in this jolly old spot again, having been on a jolly old AGM again this evening. So I'm having a nice walk down Václavské náměstí, which now of course is all dark. So it's come to the point of the year again when I'm doing videos in the dark, but at the current rate of uploading you won't be seeing this until the time of year when it's all light again, because at the end of the day I'm so far behind. I'm already over 3 months behind on my uploads ever since I changed to this 100 rule. It's a lot more. That's a creperie, by the way. I don't know whether I ought to go in there. I'm supposed to be following a diet. Anyway, what time is it now? It's 10 to 8. So I've decided to have a little bit of a walk. And I don't know why I'm on HD when it's clearly no point. If it's night, then HD doesn't make an awful lot of difference. I'm going to change my settings and then continue with things on a more appropriate setting of recording. So here I am again. There's Marks and Spencer's, Starocheski restaurant. I'm not going to walk for far. I don't know why I'm not going to walk for far. I could, couldn't I? I could just. It's a lovely evening. Most people are dressed in their coats and things, as you can see. But when you're a fat man, then this is just a lovely clement evening. And more than that, actually. No. I've got no vest on underneath this shirt, so you can see bare flesh. Sorry if that shocks anybody. There's Debenhams. And then the region around Mustek. Well, I might put this in my pocket and just try and forget it's there, so that you can get more of the atmosphere with me gabbling on a little bit less. How's that? Can you still see everything? I suppose so. I'll take the camera out for this, see if you've seen it. I'm not sure you've seen it properly. There's Lenin Yein, and there's somebody trying to make their head as equally bald as Lenin's head. They don't have a Lenin beard though. There's the King Sturgeon Company. It'd be just my luck for me to call King Sturgeon, and then end up getting a business meeting with them just a couple of weeks later after it was published. Why did you call us King Sturgeon? It's nothing to do with sturgeons. All these funny things frying away on a plate. Tourist tat for sale in shops. I don't really get what Pinocchio's doing here. I understood the Pinocchio models in Italy, because after all, Italy is the home of Pinocchio, yeah? Pinocchio is the archetypal Italian boy. And Geppetto is Dad. But what he's doing in the Czech Republic, I really don't know. There's a little mini down there. Kobe. Steak grilled sushi. I don't get this steak sushi. There's one of these in Warsaw as well now. What steaks have got to do with sushi? They seem to me to be the opposite of sushi. If you want to get sushi menu 6, that's going to set you back 3,990 crowns, and that looks like, you know, eating yourself absolutely senseless on the stuff. But to be honest with you, 34 pieces isn't actually, funnily enough, they put it in 2 languages one after another. It looks as though you're getting double what you're getting. 34 of one thing, 32 of another. So you've got 66 piece sushi, which I know how to get in Warsaw. 66 piece sushi for about 175, 180 zlotys. Times that by 5, and you're about, well, you're still under 1,000 Czech crowns, and they wanted nearly 4,000 Czech crowns. So there's the difference in price between Warsaw, which incidentally has very good sushi makers, and the Czech Republic, where I've had sushi very rarely and never thought much of the way they do it. So it's not a very good. That's one of the reasons why I don't eat Japanese food in this city. It's overpriced here like nobody's business. But there's other food which is much more fairly priced and which they do very well. Probably not so much on this particular street though. Right, here we have a pair of gays. That's not nice at all. Look at that. They're 2 blokes having a hug and a kiss. But more amusing is the expression on the face of the guy that walked past and looked at them. He was absolutely appalled. Which is, I suppose, a fairly natural reaction. But the times will come when they'll get their way, and then if a bloke is actually kissing a girl, people will walk past and think, "Oh, what do you think you're doing? Oh, if you're not careful, there might be another human being. We don't want that." So there's a little passage that you can go through and get to around this corner more easily. I don't know which way to try tonight, because on the one hand I can go, I suppose one thing I could always do is kind of go left right from here, but I know it's always going to take me into the thingamajig centre. So yeah, I'll take a right after this and see what happens then. One of the good things about walking with a camera is that people see what you're doing and they kind of behave themselves, because they don't always behave themselves. So occasionally you get people come up and beg off you or something, even if you're walking along filming, but it tends to inhibit them a bit because they know they're going to get filmed. So you can see this guy looking at me as though he just wanted to come over and ask me for 10p for a cup of tea, but when he saw that he would probably get filmed by doing so, he kind of held back. So that's a good reason, I suppose, for having it. strange music. It's nothing to do with the Czech Republic. You can really see more with this camera on this setting. You can actually see more light on the screen than it's showing you if you look with your natural eyes. Which is a good thing if you're doing all of this stuff in winter, like I end up having to half the year. Well, it's not actually half the year, it's 5 months of the year when you've got, you know, you have to come out of work and it's already dark. That's like, you might say, that's 5 months of the year, and then the other 7 months is you can come out of them of work and it's not yet dark, which I suppose is reasonable. When it starts, when it kicks off and the winter daytime comes in, it doesn't immediately cause people to feel particularly bad about it. It's different, it's changed, it's interesting. But then as it drags on and it gets longer, or the night gets longer and longer, the days get shorter and shorter, you need something to kind of perk you up a bit. And that's what this whole pagan Christmas idea is about. We don't know what time of the year Jesus was actually born, but we do know that there's this Yule thing that was invented by pagans for their own societal purposes, and the church, in all their syncretistic wisdom, I'm spelling that W-H-I-Z-Z-D-U-M-B, not W-I-S-O, hang on, D-O-M, decided that if there was such a thing as Yule, then they wanted to get in on the act. And so they slapped Christmas in on top of it. If somebody wants to say that it's September or some other time of year, you know, I don't suppose you'll have very convincing evidence for any of it, but whatever you want to believe, whatever time of year it was, then fine, as long as you don't get dogmatic about it. Because there's nothing worse than dogmatism, and I can say that very emphatically, and even dogmatically, that there's nothing worse than dogmatism on things which can't be proven, and therefore, if you want to say that Christmas really is the time of year when Jesus was born, he was born at the month of December, or around the shortest day's time of the year, if you really think that, then, you know, go ahead. On the other hand, you know, there are clear symbolistic ideas as to why it should be around then, you know, that this is the time, you know, that everything is looking at its worst, and then that's the time from which everything gets better. The days get longer, there's more light starts to happen from that moment. And so I suppose that's a symbolic reason for putting it there, and it's as good a place as anywhere else. But certainly people do need, as the nights get longer, the days get shorter, people need something to perk them up a bit after a while. So that's another good reason why you shouldn't start this whole Christmas bit too early. Starting it before, you know, actually even mentioning Christmas, or talking about Christmas sales, or getting people in the mood for it before the times have changed and the days have got shorter, I think is, you know, I think that should actually be disallowed by law. That people, until the times when you've actually got these earlier evenings, people shouldn't even be making any kind of reference to Christmas in advertising, or talking about it, or bringing it up. Yeah, personally, I'm not even in favour. It's now November. you'll hear that, you see that here, there's not all that much about it. It's getting a bit subtle here. On this, you don't see, it doesn't say Christmas, it says choose your presents, vyberte si své dárky, which means choose yourself your presents. And it's got a kind of snowy kind of thing, so obviously that is a Christmassy idea, but they don't say Christmas yet, so it's getting subtle. Yeah? Ostration Chuck, they're obviously trying to sell here a package of T-Mobile television with HD TV through a satellite. And they've made it look a little bit Christmassy, but they haven't made it too obvious. So I'm saying that for now, for November, that's probably within the bounds of good taste. This shop has no reference to Christmas, which I think is even better. Because if you do it too soon, it just loses all its magic. There's no the real magic is when everybody does it at the last minute, and all of a sudden these things start to appear. Starting to do it already now in the beginning of November, it kind of means that by the time you get to the end of December and you really want to be in that kind of mood, it's not, you know, so nice. And the shortest days of the year come in December, in the second half of December obviously. And so that's the time when it's all got to happen in order to have the maximum positive result on the human psyche. And so basically not doing anything about it until that time comes is probably, you know, the best way of having a nice, you know, atmospheric Christmas, one that's going to give you the maximum result on your, you know, the way you feel at the time which you need it the most. And that really means that, you know, November, keep it low key. Get your preparations there so you can whip them out in December, but keep it low key. And then don't start trawling out all the street decorations and Christmas trees and what have you until it really starts to be December. Then December's a month. It's not a very long month because it's shortened off by the fact that you've got all Christmas in it and that. But it's enough time to get the atmosphere out on the street, you know. And then the other thing is not to let it go on for too long, yeah. Not to have you. This is why, you know, we have a tradition of getting it all down by 12th night again. So getting up on time means you've had, you know, December to look at the tree and the decorations and everything. Get them down by the 6th of January, which is 12th night, and that's a nice thing. After that you'll have other things. The fact that you'll notice that the days are starting to get longer again, and that if you're doing things on a weekly basis like flying or something, you'll notice that the week later or 1 week later, if you're doing the same thing, you'll start to notice, when I was at this point it was already dark last week, but it's still light this week. And that will let you feel, okay, we're past the worst of it. Probably, you know, cold weather can last until March or April. But and it's not until really in May that I start to go out on the terrace, eat outside, walk around like I am today, just in my jacket with no coat on. There are some people that say, cast not a clout till May is out. That's an old expression, old folk expression, which basically means don't hang your coat in the cupboard and forget about it until the end of May. Expect to be walking around with your coat until the end of May. Well, I kind of don't take that attitude. I take it from pretty much the beginning of May. And I don't usually start wearing one until November either, but now we've got a nice warm November, so I haven't needed to wear one tonight. If I needed one, well, there's one hanging up in an office building with my name on it, about 800 metres in that direction. I could go and get it, but I don't need it. I'm going without it tonight, and I'll walk to work without it in the morning. And even if it goes down, this is about 16 degrees, so even if it goes down to under 10, even if it's about 6, I can handle that in this, so I'm not worried. So I left it in the office, and I'll probably leave it in the office when I go to the plane. Well, I know that I will, and I'll leave it in the office for when I come next week. And depending on how cold things are next week, I'll either be going back home from the office with that on, or doing the same thing as I'm doing now. I quite hope that I'll still have the chance to have a bit of a walk next week too. That's what I'm hoping anyway.
Non-flexible trips.
So, well, I used to be disgusting, now I try to be new, but I can't do anything, because the angels want to wear my red shoes. Okay, if you know who wrote that song, put it in the comments section. There's the Palladium with 200 shops. One of the biggest of the shopping developments or commercial developments that there are in Eastern Europe. Palladium's quite famous. One thing which is actually quite amazing is that they did try to put Christmas stalls on that space. Yesterday I was walking down here. They put stalls out, they did something, and they must have taken them away again. It's really quite strange. I feel as though it's a lot later than it is. and the time change did take place on Sunday. It's now Wednesday, but I thought I'd have been over it by now. After all, it's not unusual for me to be moving around 1 hour when I'm going even between Britain and Europe. That's an hour difference, but it feels like, I feel as though it's about 10 o'clock and I can't understand why there's so many people going around. In fact, it is only 8:15, so I'm feeling about 2 hours. I'm feeling like it's about 2 hours later than it really is. That's one of the reasons why I'm going to have to force myself a bit to take advantage of this lovely walking evening and do something with it. But I will. I'll do something with it. I should go home and get my gold list. I say that sadly because I realise that I haven't left it at home. I left it in the office, so I'm going the wrong way to get it. Very good. I'll give that an 8. Yeah, and that big. Good. I'm one of the most deflated fan. I left it in the office, so I'm going the wrong way to get it. Very good. I'll give that an 8. I'll give that an 8 out of 10. It's very brief, but it was a good effort. What was I saying? Gold list. So I'll go to get my. I was going to go and get my gold list, but I can't get that because I left it in the office. But what I did leave in the flat is my headphones and some nice, interesting courses. Language courses, which I thoroughly recommend. The one I'm listening to at the moment, which I thoroughly recommend you to buy, is Harold Goodman's Michael Thomas style Chinese language course. And I certainly recommend that you go to Amazon. Maybe I'll put the link at the side so that I can sell it through my associateship, which will cost you no more and give me a little bit. And I'll put links to Harold Goodman's fine courses at the side, where you can learn Chinese with his inimitable humour. So those of you that have enjoyed the hooligan of humour for learning Russian will probably also enjoy the Goodman touch when it comes to learning Mandarin. Personally, I would go and say that he's a lot better than somebody like Michael Thomas original. Somebody that I thought was going to do another performing piece, but they didn't. They just kind of rode around in front of me and then stopped and looked at me. But I wasn't going to give that. I'm not even going to give that a 1 or a 2. Because that was just not a performance at all. I expect at least, if somebody's going to do a skateboard act, then they should at least do a little bit of a trick for the camera or something. So I shall go into my house and get or flat rather, and get the stuff that I need to have a bit of a walk and learn, because I discovered that my organisation that I am thankfully part of is going to have a conference in 2 years' time in Beijing, and so I want to intensify a little bit my learning of Chinese in order to, on the expectation of going to Beijing in 2012, being able to really make a lot out of that visit. And that means, you know, what would I like to have? I think I'd like to really have, over those 2 years, really have a pretty good grounding in, yeah, I think I would like to have, to really recognise the basic meaning of about at least 1,000 handsies, maybe more, and to be pretty good and be able to state the sound for 500 of them accurately. And that means not only the pinyin letters but also the tone, and to know what it means, and radical stroke orders, all that stuff. Thank you, Mr. Dog. And that means a little bit of work on the characters, but the Goodman course doesn't cover that. But then I would do that using a different system which I'm working on right now, and it's not time to talk about that system yet, but I will talk about it when the time comes if it's successful. It's a sort of adaptation of gold list principles to the learning of characters, but because there's a lot of things to look at once when you're doing characters, it means it's not such a easily gold listable thing.